All right, guys. Let's kick this off. I'm gonna give each player that played in the past tournament a short scouting report of themselves, so they can see videos of the good and the bad, so you can learn from both. I expect y'all to watch everybody, so y'all can learn from each other as well. We'll start off with Jacob May. Um, so for you, May, your your strengths is, and it's become your strength recently is your ball security, ball you man. You've really taken to that. When you're dealing with a single defender, usually you're okay. Now it's when the second and third guy come, where you gotta still get better. Your shooting's a strength. Your execution on both offense and defense is a strength now. As soon as I write some on the board or say this is what we're doing for this game plan, it typically happens if you're out there. And then your work ethic. I mean, I know people don't usually count that as a huge strength. They say it kind of cliche-ish, but I mean, you're legitimately deciding to get better in specific areas. And I don't want to make that just, an oversight. Weaknesses, and a lot of that we're going to talk about in the video. I still think you need to get stronger and more aggressiveness and focus on your toughness before games. You got to decide, I'm going to change the narrative. Everybody thinks I'm a smart, I'm a heady player, I'm a shooter, stuff like that. But I want them to leave games thinking, hey man, he's relentless, he's a go-getter, he's tough, he don't got no quit. And I think you can decide to change that narrative for yourself each game. So let's watch some videos. The first couple clips will be about your toughness and aggressiveness. So here's one clip. Ball comes down. You're on the weak side. We know the ball's coming to the hot spot. You need to touch somebody. And you're just looking. All right. So, like I said, I need you to constantly be aggressive each time. See, you'd never touch anybody on any of those opportunities. So you could have changed the narrative and nobody got touched. So that's one of your weaker plays in that area. All right. So here's another situation where you just kind of stand in front of somebody and you have an opportunity to be aggressive and really move that guy. And then he just pushes you right under the rim. And now they're at the rim and we're getting a foul on us. So you got to make sure you block out so we don't get that foul call. All right, so these are going to be more of your aggressive plays. All right, and I want you to just watch the difference. I mean, we've practiced in practice multiple times blocking in, things like that. Here's the shot. There's a guy coming. You block him in, and therefore we're able to get to the ball. All right. You actually throw a pretty good pass right there. Kevin got to come off too, but that was good right. Now the next play right behind you made that pass is this play, and this is execution. All right, I said, hey, if you have nobody behind you, go ahead. You run up and trap and create, some adversity right there because they got what? One, two guys, and the rest of the guys are on the other side of the court. So you don't just hang out on the wing. You come up and trap, and you recognize that, and then you get back. You see, so that's really good. I like again, we love the execution. All right, and so some of these plays aren't always the best, but what I told you was make sure you're aggressive. And I'd rather you make a mistake being aggressive. Look at this, just go right after the ball, and because of that, he turns it over. So let's watch it again. You just run straight at the ball. That used to be a play where you would just kind of softly run up to him and he'd still get a straight line to the basket. So again, I like that you did that, and then that leads us to a wide open fast break. Good play by Cade and Grant right there. Excellent. But you created the turnover. Here's another play, because I specifically said when you go after the ball, run into their body while going after the ball. So your knees are a little bit more bent than we talked about last time. That's good. And there you go, going after the ball. Let's rewatch it. So normally you try to pick the ball up clean. Now you're not so worried about the foul because you probably foul him right there. But I told you, if you're after the ball, that stuff don't get called many times. So now you run into his body trying to get it, and at very least he don't pick it up clean and go. I mean, if they call a foul, they take it out. We get set up on defense, but more than likely you'll end up with the ball a lot of times. So that was fine, and that's perfect. There you go. Jumping up and down for the trap. You should probably foul him with your chest more. But again, aggressiveness. Okay, I like this one a lot because this is one of the more aggressive teams. This was in the championship game, and you just basically just snatch the rebound, right? Aggressively. Boom, you fight for it, you get the ball, then you dribble out to space and get it up the court. So let's watch that one again. Just way more aggressive. Boom, snatch it. Good. Now, I would love for you to be able to off the dribble throw it your left hand, and Grant would have more time. But you know, right now you on off the dribble, you got to throw it your right hand. So you got to turn your body the other way to throw it. And we like you to get to the point where you could throw it left hand, because if you could have threw it right here with your left for an easy layup instead of Grant having to turn. All right, so let's watch it one more time. See, right hand behind Grant, so now they catch up with him. All right, but hey, the aggressiveness is good. So this is another one, even though you didn't come up with the steal, that I really like, um, because again, we've been trying to get this steal up top and read their eyes. There's nobody to protect down here, and you know, you pounce on it. Boom. All right. And like I said, a lot of times, you know, when I'm talking to the team, we're worried about containment, and I try to get them to be more aggressive and just go for the steal, and that's you going for it all out. All right, that was perfect. All right, and then somebody that they don't want ends up with the ball. Not the guy they tried to throw it to. He can handle it. He can't. This guy's wide open, and this guy still can't make the play. You know, he threw it right to us. But another good one right there. So let's move over to some IQ stuff. See, these are some of the IQ heady plays. Let's go through some of the bad ones first. Your main thing is still don't panic. You know, so panic still falls in the toughness category mentally, right? So let's talk about this. So you get the ball here, and you're good. Like I said, when one guy's on you, you're pretty good at ball security. You know, the ball's towards your hip, you know, ball you man. But once this ball gets slapped, I feel like you panic, and then you dribble at the person who's supposed to get the pop three, which is Isaac. So boom, soon as he knocks it out your hand, that's when you start dribbling. So now, since you dribbled at Isaac, he no longer can shoot because this guy's in the way. The spacing's poor. So let's watch it again. So just kind of watch when you panic. Right when that ball gets popped, you're like, uh-oh, let me take off. And now we can't take our three that we wanted, and this guy was definitely late. So for you, your habits are to run to the wings and the corners, and as you become a better guard or playmaking guard, more plays are going to be made in the middle of the floor. All right, so here, you get the rebound. We got one guy down. We got one guy below the ball. All right, so basically it's a 3-on-3. So you need to stay in the middle of the floor right now. All right, because then you can make your passes. You might be able to hit Jackie streaking. You got somebody on this side. I'm not sure who, but you run straight to the sideline. You see, and that's gonna shorten the court for everybody. So now they can even trap you if they need to, and this guy can guard both. All right, so you want to go to the middle floor and only run to the sidelines when it makes more sense. But right now, here, this is stay in the middle of the floor. This is just one guy. So if you stay there and you could get by him, because most kids make mistakes in transition, they'll just reach for the ball. Now you create a 3-on-2, but again, if you stay in the middle, you got an angle to throw it to Jackie even right there possibly. All right, so don't run to the sidelines. Well, I just want you to have more poise here. Let's think about this. You get the ball. We're setting it up against their press. There's no ball pressure, so there's no reason to make a bad decision right now. All right, so now you got Kavion with no vision of who's behind him, and you throw a soft pass to him. So now he has to make a big decision once this trap comes. All right, so if he's not in place, don't throw it. I'd rather you throw it back to Cade, who's a guard. So again, I think there's a little bit of panic. You're not thinking who you're throwing to, and then boom, he gets fouled. But that's still not a good decision because now you're asking Kavion to turn, figure out where to throw to, and things like that, and that's not where he is right now. So it's a personnel thing. So, no, I'm being nitpicky, but this matters. All right. So he's coming. Which hand do you think is better to hand it off to if you're about to do a dribble handoff? You see, I don't like that it being with your right hand. It should be with your left, and then that guy can't go through your body. All right. So I want you to think about little stuff because a more aggressive defender might go after the ball. So when I saw it in the game, I thought that. So we got to make sure, you know, use your outside hand away from the defender, not your inside. All right, so we're still on IQ, but we're on the good plays now. So this is one. The guy with the ball is obviously their stud. We get it out of his hand. And then Jackie stays high because there's nobody in the corner to protect, so they just trap that. Well, we didn't do a good aggressive one, but we know that they want to throw the ball back to him. I like that you ran up and got this. when that guy's getting trapped, I don't think a player like him can throw it all the way to this block. So I love that that shows IQ that you're ready to run through that pass. And that guy might think he's open because you didn't just take it away, which is smart. And if he does throw the diagonal pass, because there's nobody corner, Ty can get this still as well if he bends his knees. All right, so now the ball goes there. His back is to him, so that's still perfect. And we sprint all the way, take away the diagonal. But this is the play for the IQ. We talk about what passes to make win all the time. Over the top, just throw it over the top to Ty. Easy bucket. All right, love that. All right, and this is like the very next possession or two. So now ball gets in. Ty seems to initiate all these fast breaks. I like you running ahead. Ty's running ahead because he knows you'll throw it too. Throw it up ahead, so that's a good thing. And now, who's going to win this jump ball? You or Ty. So, again, you're making the game easier. And that's a big area that you've grown to, is being able to make the game easier for everybody. That's good stuff right there. High IQ play. All right. This one I like because you're here. This guy is only looking at the ball. Even though we're running play, no reason to stand still. Backdoor movement. Where's the opportunity? Oh, there's space right there. You ran the space. You used to just hang out at the 3-point line. And so now you're able to run the space. Get a good opportunity. Now Ty's man has to help up. That's why it's important to not always get everything at the basket, but have a little float game. All right, now Ty gets to block in, and then, he gets an attempt. He misses. It's with the left hand. I'm cool with that, but I like the movement without the ball. I love this play because everybody knows I'm a trainer first. If you ain't using your training in these AAU games or whatever, then what we doing it for? So this is, but don't get me wrong, all the stuff has been training. All right, but here's a floater. Read the closeout. Run against his momentum. Hey, sometimes you got to be able to shoot off the wrong foot, because if you take both steps, you're going to be right there with those guys to block you. So you got to do a wrong foot floater and get it up before they're ready. All right, so here we go. Boom, wrong foot before you get to them. And you made like 3 of those this tournament. So that's, like I said, I love seeing training being applied. And here we go with more training. Man, that's a good job, Ty. You making multiple efforts, getting us possessions. That's great. But slows down, puts the guy in jail, then makes a move. Now we're at the free throw line. Most players would just put their head down and go to the rim. But I noticed this. Slow down. That's the guy that can block your shot without fouling you right there that you put in jail. That guy can't. He's going to do it exactly what he did. Slow down. Boom. Then we get a shot at the rim, get some free throws. And that's perfect. More training. This may be my favorite IQ play. I'm not sure from you, but Ty killing the rebounds again. All right, so you're running point. We run open, so you dribble over to call open. But only Ty's in the game, not Kavion. So it's Jackie, Cade, and maybe Isaac. So 3 people that do not run the top spot at open. All right, so now you're at the point. Okay, so you do your lateral, boom, you come off. And then this is why it's so important to be able to know multiple positions, because right in the middle of the play, you go and set a screen and you become the open guy so we can continue our offense. I honestly thought I was going to have to call something different, and then you did this. And we can talk about the screen and the roll later, but that don't really matter because, we're not trying to hit you very often for a roll, or you actually pop every time anyway. But that's just excellent. So now we're able to just continue to run open because you know multiple positions and can still execute. All right. We'll go through your 1-3-1 positioning quickly. So right here, 1-3-1, don't forget, don't drop that deep. All right. I actually think they do throw it corner, but you're not in line with the ball, so that's why. So we don't want you there because now it stretches us out, our top guys out too much, and then we'll never get the traps in the corner. All right, so they get it there. So you can't drop that deep because that's not a position we want you playing on 1-3-1. All right, now part of this is good because this is your recognition. And in 1-3-1, we've said it a bunch of times. If nobody's corner, you're not protecting anything. So just come up and pressure the ball. And it happens a lot in fast break when people aren't in their set yet. They just throw it to this guy. So nobody's behind you now. And you just start pressuring him. Boom. And as a result, we end up with a turnover. All right. So that's good. Attention to detail, and then we get a good trap and a turnover, and we get foul going to the line because of you. Like this, because because you're doing it. I mentioned it a couple times, but we drilled it pretty hard this week in practice. But this stunt, you come at the guy and then get back to the corner where you're supposed to be. We'll watch that again because that's perfect. Because all you're trying to do on this stunt, and when you stunt, that stunt is going to make him pick up his dribble, and now he got to make a quick decision. All right, so that was great. All right, and then you run to the corner where he's probably going to throw it. Now he throws a pass that doesn't hurt us because you made him pick up the ball and you ran to where he probably wanted to go in the first place. Good stuff. So now let's talk about your turnovers, and these are the ones that are easily fixable. I tell you and Jackie all the time, y'all need to rep out this. When somebody runs you off the line, don't travel. Work on coming out of your triple threat moves and stuff. So you get the ball here, and here's the thing. The problem is the travel. I mean, most refs don't call this, but your feet are down, and then you take another hop, right? And both feet move. And she was calling that stuff, so be able to adapt your game in and when necessary. Here's your next one. And again, most refs don't call it, I'll be honest. But it's a travel. That's a travel. Your left foot lifts up before you take off. Because right now, both feet were down. Your left foot's now your pivot. And then your left foot lifts up. You know. So, that's technically a travel as well. Alright, so here, we'll talk about Ty's wall up later, or lack thereof. But here, you got the ball. We had just came out the timeout with me getting on y'all about turnovers and taking care of the ball. And then right here, this is just careless to me. You just kind of throw it up ahead, way in front, and there's no ball pressure. So let's not take those risks. Like, if you got to, wait for Isaac to get behind the ball, throw it to him, but we don't need to throw it ahead because this is literally our first play out of a timeout. I mean, out of halftime, and we got something we want to execute. There's no reason for us to run into a fast break or something. So don't throw him ahead in that situation. So this was just a bad look. Then with what I think is your highlight of the day, because it's more of a character highlight than it is a basketball one. And this is for everybody that's on the bench. Right now on the bench, it's a close game. We score. Like, I could look at the bench and see everybody, Leon, you, Brooklyn, clapping, like, happy for your teammates, all right? And there's, 2:20 in. I mean, that's just called being a winner at the end of the day. Only 5 players could be on the court. For whatever reason, this is the group I chose. And to not be in there but still be happy for your team is saying something. I can rock with that all day. All right, so hey, good job. Look at this video, study it, make the proper corrections, and get better. Next up, we got Cade. The good things, you got really good leadership, ball security, especially when you're in triple threat. When you're in triple threat, I don't feel like you're about to lose the ball. So get that, but once you bounce it, sometimes it's sketchy. So make sure your off the dribble catches up with your triple threat ball security. And then you're one of the guys that can execute from the board. So if I'm drawing something up offensively, then you can make it happen. Weaknesses, you do a lot of things that's premeditated. Oh, I'm gonna take this next shot, or I'm gonna pass it to him. And you need to learn how to react to the situation more instead of just saying I'm doing this. It needs to be, if he does this, I'm doing that. And right now, a lot of your game looks like I'm doing this. Possessions, you need to find a way to get more possessions, and a lot of that's just execution, blocking out on your rebounds, diving after a ball, playing with more energy and effort, anticipating. You got to anticipate better. You have bad habits defensively, like if in transition defense you typically run up instead of running back. All right, we'll show a lot of that in the video. And then you want to get better at your skill set on the move. With your feet set, you're good. You're a better passer, shooter, just like most people. But you don't want the discrepancy to be so large between the two. All right. So look, here's the first set. We're talking about reading closeouts. All right. Ty with a rebound. Good stuff. Got a guy closing out full speed ahead. You got to pump fake this and let him go by you, and then take an easy shot. All right. So now you're taking that contested 3, and you could tell by the result of it, it wasn't an easy shot for you. All right, so you got to read a guy. That's I'm doing this. Right. And like I said, earlier in the season, I said you'd be more aggressive, but understand what I mean by aggressive. That doesn't mean you have to shoot. it just means be more aggressive. All right, so like right here, you've decided it's not a you're having a I'm doing this situation after you come off of this instead of if he does that. If this guy steps up and doesn't hedge hard enough, I'm not gonna shoot this. But you've made up your mind, and again, you're gonna get the same result if you're just gonna do this and not react to this to the player. All right, here's a it went in, but not in the way that I wanted situation. So this ball bounces right back to you, and it's a lot because of Kavion's effort. That's really good stuff, Kavion. Because if he don't jump in battle, this ball don't get tipped out. All right, so now right here, you got to pump fake and go around this guy. This isn't a shot that we can eat off of week in and week out. So you see what I'm saying? You've decided I'm shooting that, and then it's going up. Where I think if you go here, you do the footwork, pump fake, he's gonna jump. I mean, he's 6'2", you know, 6'2.5". Pump fake, run to this space and get the shot off. You do that, that looks a little bit better. So read that situation better as well, even though it went in. So here's another one. We run Texas. All right, we don't have anything you lift. All right, so this, you've decided that you're gonna shoot it already because you picked up your dribble before you cross the 3-point line. So that means you're about to shoot a floater from the elbow. All right, and that's not high percentage enough for me, so I don't want you shooting that. All right, and then it gets blocked. But again, you're coming around the corner saying, right now you've decided I'm shooting. All right, and I think if you add in a hezi or hesitation, you could get by that guy and get a little deeper and then get a better shot than that. All right. Now look at some situations where you are successful even more. So a lot of it happens when you're stationary and you're able to look. So you're standing still now. And now you can just pick the defense apart. Kavion gets inside. We get a good shot up. All right, here's another one like the next possession down. I want Ty to have more court awareness. All right, because you got to know when you're open, Ty. And even when this ball goes here, this guy got to run to Kavion. You should be standing here ready for a layup. Nonetheless, good pass by Cade. My bad, I went back too far. Okay, Cade recognizes the hole in his own, and good footwork. Pro hop into his body, finish. Good stuff, Kavion, and one. Let's also look when you're a much more efficient shooter. All right, Kavion hustles after the ball, gets on the floor. So it's a scramble, which means, hey, there's always a scramble. You got guys who ran down court for layups. So now, feet set, eyes on target. You're not dribbling, not moving. Knock down. All right, that's good right there. All right, here's another one. Screen. He goes under. All right, and since this is more of a kind of a transition screen, there's no hedge guy at all. But Rob, are you in range? Are you open? Are you balanced? And Kavion actually rolls into this guy. I don't know if he did that on purpose. We don't rip that out enough, but that makes you more open. All right, so you're in range, you're open and you're balanced. I'm fine with you taking that shot too. Feet set. All right, so here's another one. We scored 3 different ways, and you hit all these late in the game. We got one off offensive rebound from Kavion. Got another one off of a screen where there's no hedge guy. Now this one is a paint touch, right? The ball's in the paint, and then it comes out. And because of that paint touch, again, you sitting wide open for the 3. So, all this is put together to make sure you know why you're being successful, right? So you could take more of those type of shots. And then you work on the ones that you aren't as efficient in. But this isn't a surprise, right? Oh, you're a better shooter with your feet set and balanced than you are off the dribble and with a closeout. All right, so just recognize this. Move over to transition defense. All right, so you're in triple threat right now. The ball's safe. What I say, that's when you're stronger at protecting the ball. Once you dribble, not as strong. So you got to get better at that. So here's the turnover, and that's not the huge problem because, hey, turnovers happen. You could take a foul right now. That would be something acceptable. Or as they come in, you could stop ball right now. But you do neither. So now you're not stopping ball and you're behind everybody. So at one point you were ahead of everybody. Now you're behind everybody and they're downhill at the rim. All right, so remember we talked about your habits, right? So Kavion gets blocked. You should be running back so you don't let anybody behind you. But if you run up, all they're going to do is throw it over your head for an easy layup. So you can stop this score if you run back. But remember, your habits are to run forward or just jump. And he just throws it over your head. And Isaac's not able to catch him. I think he actually gets a foul on him. All right, so go ahead and another transition defense play that you got to notice and get better. So here, once you realize they have the ball, it's time to sprint back. You actually do better at that. So now it's talking about, since you're the first guy back, you should be talking the most. You should be saying, Leon, you stop ball. I got first pass, which would be this guy. And then Grant could be the cover who protects the rim while they get back. Actually, and you see Grant, he's going to try to point to you and he just put his hand down to tell you to go get that guy. All right, so let's look at him. You'll see him right here. He's saying he's pointing for you to get back and get this guy. So he thinks you got him. So once you decide that you're going to stop ball, he doesn't protect rim immediately like he should have, right, if he was pointing. But still, since you didn't stop ball, they throw it over, and then, you know, they get another easy bucket. So knowing who to pick up too, but that's something that I'm going to work better with to make sure y'all know how to do that properly. This is a double negative, all right, because you do bad in both offensive transition and defensive transition. So you close out, which is fine. If you close out anywhere above the free throw line, I don't mind the guy to keep running. All right, and you do, but you just stop. And we got the point guard with the ball, and you're going to see Jackie telling you to run farther ahead. And if you're the first guy through, you would run all the way through, and she would stay wing. So she just pointed for you to go back, but you didn't see her, so you stayed. So now y'all two are in the same spot. Isaac should not have thrown this pass, but he does. And so now, you know, too many people in one spot. One guy could guard both. All right, so now we get a turnover. So now think about where you're at. You and Isaac are not about to get this basketball. Y'all can tell that that's the only guy who has a chance. So y'all should be sprinting back, but y'all are walking. So now, too late. Over everybody's head. And now you're the last guy back, you know, for that. Now, here's the other thing. Isaac's sprinting. If you stay sprinting, because you know the next job Isaac has to do if he's last and he's at the rim, he got to run through it and make that guy pump fake. If you keep sprinting, you can save this play, right? But you stopped already, and Jackie didn't run hard enough either, so he gets a layup. So let's just watch. You could tell that they got the ball, and y'all are walking. Y'all are just watching the play. And this is considered no man's land. No good can happen in this back corner. All right, and now we're late. All right, so I think this is a transition play because you see Isaac has the ball. So right there, they have 1, 2, 3 guys below the free throw line. You should be thinking this is opportunity and running up the court as the other guard because Isaac has the ball. Like if it's Kavion or Ty, you got to run to it. But if a guard has it, you just stay in space. So you run down below as low as Isaac is, when you should be standing up here in his vision so you could catch it above these 3 guys. So now, Isaac's thinking you're going to run up the court, but you're looking to set it up, but he's a guard, so there's no reason to stay back. So again, another situation where you just got to read that, all right? So this one, I don't mind. This three-pointer, that's fine. All right, you're open, you're in range, you're balanced. Okay, we're good with that. Now, you get back, but then where you mess up is the gamble. If you stay back and don't gamble for that, because you couldn't have got it anyway, then Jacob could guard him, you could guard him, and now it's not a 2-1 split right there. All right, so take it back. Right now, you don't need to gamble at this. All right, and then that gambling transition got you in trouble and got a score. Now, this is great transition D. Boom. You actually go for the ball pretty well and get a foul. They got to set it up on defense. All right, so that's what I want to see when you're on transition defense, and it's just you take the foul, let us get another chance, and make them score against our half court. So we're gonna go through these real quick. These are just energy and effort plays, right? So like, just make sure you're trying to get to that ball quicker. Don't look, pursue. All right, so you can test, and you're just looking, right? Now you got to go pursue it first, otherwise he'll get to it quick. Get to it before you. So here you just shot a free throw. All right, you should be getting back. All right, so when this guy is coming, you need to make sure you're running hard enough to where he doesn't gap you. And then when he gaps and you're just reaching, right, you don't get your chest in front. Now, Kavion might get a foul. That's actually a good contest by Kavion. All right, he just makes it. But don't let him get that deep against our defense. Otherwise, guys get in foul trouble. I thought you showed effort here, but you got to finish plays. All right. You're sprinting everywhere. But right here, that shot goes up. You shouldn't back up. You should go rebound. So you're backing up behind number 2 who shot it instead of blocking him out. And then, well, Isaac gets to it, but you want to go forward, not backwards. So real quick, just look at it. When that shot goes, you're dropping back. No rebounds are going to come to you. You got to go get them. I will say this, though. When that rebound does get it and Isaac gets it, you're in triple threat. That ball is pretty safe. You deal with that ball pressure in a very tough spot and get it out of there. And now we got a break. All right, so way to deal with that. All right, so here you're in a tough spot right here, but you got to keep your feet moving. All right, you kind of just stop. Once he gaps you, boom, you're just kind of walking. So, like, that's what I mean by, like, that energy and effort. He's right there. Boom, stay with him and don't just watch because you're not even ready for the rebound when he shoots that. All right, so this one's more of a read thing. I think you're in good position to read the ball and see that it's short. All right, you take a screenshot to see if anybody's coming, but you're still in good position to just go and get the ball. All right, it's just you. So it can't get tapped out. That got to be a rebound that you come up with and push. All right, got to come up. Remember, the game's about possessions. We got to get those possessions. All right, so we go. That's the shooter. Start making habits of touching the shooter. All right, because he's the first guy that knows that it's off if he's decent. All right, and you don't touch him. He runs right by you, and then he gets his own rebound and put back. All right, and this is a much better possession. Don't overrun. Like here, don't overrun. Your next pass isn't to go guard that corner. Well, Kavion was pretty high. You're probably trying to cover for him. But what I like is this. Once he does drive, you stay with him through the possession. You stay moving, and then he shoots. All right, that's more aggressive. We need more of that. All right. All right, here's another strong possession. All right, we're in tag, right? You and Leon are tagging. We're tagging middle. You get in front. And I'd like you to make contact and really drive him out of there. But hey, I mean, that's the energy I need you running around with. So let's look at a few offensive opportunities. Once Isaac gets this deflection, you're ahead of everybody. All right, so now you just got to slow down, run into this guy's body, and do a regular layup, basically. All right, but you're not bodying up early enough, and then you try to seek it, and now, it's just not, you can't take 2 attempts in most games. You're only going to get the ball once. So you get 1 crack at it. Body up first. All right, here's another one. This guy's just dribbling. We're kind of in tag, so you're allowed to trap that. All right, again, you're ahead. You should find his body now, and then you'll have a easy layup. All right, so instead you get fouled, but not because you bodied up. You end up shooting a kind of a floater when you need to be getting a layup. So you kind of pick up your dribble right there to shoot your shot. So body up, make that shot easier for you. So this short little section is going to be more about timing, reads, and closeouts. Well, not necessarily closeout, but timing and reads. So this isn't necessarily a terrible shot, but it happened the last 2 minutes. As you can see, it's a minute 27 on the clock, and I said I wanted to run the offense. So you reject it. So it's the timing of when you're doing this. So now I'm doing this shot, comes up, and that's a floater, and that's a low percentage, and we don't want that. All right, so that's why I got on you on that. Not that you're not allowed to take that, but obviously you see the situation we're in right now. All right, this is same deal. Another shot that you're allowed to take. You just can't take it right now because there's 10 seconds on the clock, and I said last shot. So now if we miss, at the end, so you got to be the smartest guy in the gym because now they scored right before the buzzer, and we had a pretty significant lead up to that point, but it's just possessions. We got to do better. Okay, so we're going to end with this play because I really like this play from you. Okay, so we got the ball. You protected in transition, so now you're running. A lot of times we'll just throw this ball right to Grant early. But, if you keep driving, you make him have to guard you, then Grant's more open. So I really like this. So that's a heady play. You make him stop ball, then you throw it. And now Grant gets an opportunity at the rim, and they call a foul. I'm not sure if he got foul. All right, so again, same thing like always. Watch this video, learn from it, make the proper adjustments, and then just come back next time a better player. All right, good stuff.